Jesus' Heaven on Earth tour is about feeding them as many stories, images about God's ways as they can handle without giving them indigestion. Nothing's explained. It's all in pictures and story form. Only the Team 12 get explanations, and then only backstage. Stories of heaven on earth. Images of lamps, farms, fishing, cooking, buried treasure, precious pearls. Moving into Impact Year 3, the keyword morphs from popularity to opposition. And Jesus isn't helping. I mean, death wish or what? He's winding up the religious strict and particulars like he doesn't want there to be a tomorrow. But for the general public, Jesus is still in miracle GP mode. About 15,000 people spend all day watching him, making crutches redundant, liberating blind dogs from their leads. Major debates. The public swing between courier and liberator. The religious leaders are convinced he's a con artist. Probably his most famous story is aimed directly at the Tutting Club. The suits call an emergency meeting. Plan B, anyone? Chairman Caiaphas is pulling rank. Wait up! Which is better? One guy to be got rid of, or a whole nation to go under? Day one of the kill Jesus rhetoric turning into a concrete plan. Quick time check. Flyby Fest, weekend, minus 6 days. Jesus gets to Jerusalem and lays into the religious leaders. You're two-faced performers, doing your religion just for the celebrity ratings. You HQ hypocrites, religious fraudsters, con men, fakers, gazumpers, phonies. But you look fantastic. But he's a different guy with the public, talking up their prospects, and with the team. He's warning them not to hit the panic button when all the mess kicks in before he comes back as ruler. When I come back, I'll sit on my throne and separate people out. Sheep on my right side, goats on my left. I'll say to the sheep, I owe you. When I was starving, you made me meals. When I was a loner in the corner, you opened out the circle and brought me in. My clothes weren't up to the job. You went through the cupboards for me. My health was bad. You nursed me back to strength. I was in prison. You made the visiting hours. Those who've done the right thing scratch their heads and ask, when? I'll tell them, truth is, every good thing you've done for the lowest of the low, my brothers, sisters, it's like you did it for me. But the goats, get out of my sight. You're in the biggest hole you could imagine, and the hole's on fire, heating up for Satan and his cronies later, because I was starving, and you moaned about being overweight. I was a loner. You told me to get a life. I was freezing cold. You told me to jump up and down. I was ill. You told me to snap out of it. I was locked up, but you didn't even make the trip to rub my nose in it. Whoa, hang on, say the goats. We wouldn't be like that with you. With someone like you, we'd be thoughtful, sensitive, inclusive, generous, caring. We'd never forget someone like you. I'll say, truth is, the lowest of the low is someone like me. So whatever you didn't do for them, you didn't do for me. They get taken away to constant torture. Those who did the right thing, they enjoy limitless life. 2 days and counting to the Flyby Festival. 2 days and pressure mounting to betrayal, beatings and execution. One of the Team 12, Judas Iscariot, does a deal with the suits to hand Jesus over for cash. Next evening, the Thursday, Jesus and the team are sitting round a table for the traditional Flyby Festival meal. Jesus passes round a bread loaf. This bread symbolizes my body, ripped to shreds for you. Reenact this meal as a memory trigger. Don't forget me. Then he passes the wine round and says, let's all drink from the same thing. It'll be my last, till heaven on earth is more than just talk. After all this, a final speech from Jesus, including his one big ask from his Father. Make them united, going for one thing together, like we do. It's getting late on Thursday evening. They come to Gethsemane Park, and Jesus starts getting sucked down into a black hole of mental torture. My soul's suffocating. All this grief feels like I'm dying. He goes off alone, begs his Father to cancel their plans for tomorrow. Daddy, with you, everything's possible. Do I have to? The whole lot, drink it all down? Is there no way around? Please. Please. But if there's no other way, then carry on with the plan. I'll do it. Early hours of Friday morning, flyby festival weekend. Judas sneaks into the park with a posse of men wielding bats and knives. Judas seals the deal with a kiss. Jesus is arrested. The team leg it while they can. It's going to be a very bad Friday. Jesus is taken off. The guards blindfold him and make him play Guess Who's First now. They frog march Jesus to Caiaphas' house, where he's in the dock. If you're the liberator, just tell us. Jesus tells them, pretty soon I'll be sat there on my throne next to awesome God. So you reckon you're God's son now, do you? You said it. Only one verdict. The death penalty. Across the city, Judas realizes what he's done. He tops himself. Caiaphas and his cronies pass Jesus over to Pilate, who has to ratify any death sentence. It's still early hours. Pilate's in his dressing gown. What time do you call this, huh? He's trying to get his head around it all. He can't. So he passes Jesus over to King Herod. But Jesus is exercising his right to remain silent, and Herod gives up quizzing him and lets his soldiers loose with some heavy-duty satire. Herod passes Jesus and the buck back to Pilate. The crowd screaming, "Execute him! Roman style!" Pilate gets symbolic with a bowl of water. He tells the mob, "Hey, you looking at me? None of his blood's on my hands, all right?" The Roman soldiers manhandle Jesus, stick a purple robe on him, and press a mock crown of thorn stems down hard on his head. Some are giving him verbal. Some are whacking him across the head with their javelins. Others are gobbing in his face. One guy's laying into him with a lead-tipped whip. Then they slam a heavy, rough-hewn plank across his shoulders and tie him to it by both wrists, leading him through the crowds to be executed at Skull Hill, where a soldier drives heavy wrought iron nails through Jesus' wrists, stapling him onto the crossbar. Another huge nail through his ankles into the upright stake. They crucify him. They go in and there's no body. Just two angels lighting up the whole cave asking, "Why are you looking in a grave for someone who's alive and well? He's back. He said he'd come back after 2 days, remember?" The guards are bribed to recite the official story. Your line is, "There was an ambush." There was an ambush. And lots of violence. Lots of violence. They looted the tomb. They looted the tomb. Then they started the gossip. Jesus is back. Then they started the gossip. What was the next bit? Jesus is back. Jesus is back. But Mary Mag didn't get the only sighting. The team plus over 500 more got to see him, some more than once. Through all this, a final speech from Jesus. I said that before, but this really is his final speech. Your new job description's this: spread out, worldwide, help people commit 100% to my way of life. Get them on board, and God, the Holy Spirit, and I will underwrite them all. I'm with you 24/7. No, 24/7, 52, right to the end.